Well, those heavyweights are coming up in just a little bit. Right now, we have the men's freestyle 128-pound championship on the mat. That man, Tony Purler from Clarion, Pennsylvania, 29 years old, defending national champion, taking on Terry Brands from Iowa City, Iowa, 31 years old, a two-time world champion. And it is Terry's return to competition after injuries forced him to sit out really 2 years. Lon McCarron along with Jim Shearer, joined also in this match by Kendall Cross, Olympic champion from 96, an NCAA champion from Oklahoma State. And Kendall, you beat Terry Brand in the Olympic trials in 96. You know a little something about this man, don't you?
Yes, a little bit. I think I know a little bit about both of them. They're both extremely tough competitors. I do feel that Terry has an advantage in the situation. It's, as obvious his record is proven, and he's two-time world champion. So I think it's a very tough match here.
But, I know how it was for you, Kendall, and going for several years trying to reach the top of the hill and overtake the number one guy. Terry Brands finds himself in the unique position of having to try and regain his spot as a number one athlete.
Yeah, I see that too, but I also see that, given that he didn't make the 96 team, that his hunger would still be there pretty strong.
Tony Purler, as I mentioned, beating Euro Washington last year to win the title. He also defeated Washington this year in the semifinals to gain way into the finals. 3 technical falls and a decision for Purler to work his way into the finals. And there a throw for Terry Brand, but it was a turnaround by Tony Purler and a 3-point move.
Tony Purler is a dangerous wrestler. You can find him, he can score in any position.
Trying to turn Brands now.
It looks like Brands is going to score 2 off this technique, and that's not a good move by Tony. That's a big mistake in that match, because he'd staked himself to a big 3-0 lead and put Terry in a hole, and now he gave it right back.
He did indeed. 2 points now to Terry Brands. And actually, it was Brands who initiated all of that action. And as it comes out, Purler 3-2 with the advantage. Under a minute to go in the opening period. Terry Brands returned to competitive wrestling here at the Las Vegas Convention Center in the 1999 U.S. National Wrestling Championships. He's probably had a few good workout partners through the room in Iowa, too.
You can be sure, especially his brother Tom. And Terry is really grinding on top, got 2. His strength advantage over Tony might be telling in this match.
I think so. I think Terry Brands is probably the strongest competitor at this weight class, bar none, I think, in the world. Just extremely hard to deal with. Holds you off. Just very strong.
He really is a very typical Iowa wrestler, and he just puts so much pressure on you and always coming forward, banging your head. And that kind of pressure is difficult to stay with.
Right. You really can't ever gain an advantage on him because he's constantly banging, pressure.
And the pressure resulted in 2 more points for Terry Brands, and he now leads 4-3. 6 seconds to go in the opening 3-minute period. Brands over Purler. Brad Penrith is in the corner with Tony Purler here in Las Vegas.
Brad coached Tony at the University of Nebraska when Tony won his NCAA title.
That is the end of the 3 minutes. Back with more wrestling at Las Vegas Convention Center in the 99 U.S. National Wrestling Championships right after this. Welcome back to the Las Vegas Convention Center and the National Wrestling Championships. And here is the action that actually ended up scoring 5 points, 3 for Purler and 2 for Brands. You see Brands go for the shot, then take us through it, Jim.
Well, Tony just caught Terry coming in too aggressive and whipped him through. Really a good move for Tony, and it's going to make Terry think twice about taking that aggressive double the rest of the match.
And then it was Terry Brands in that same exchange who got exposure right there against Purler. But when Purler took Brands from his feet to his back, it was the 3-point move.
And he really got his knee in too deep and let Terry catch the knee and catch him on his back in that gut wrench situation.
Now we begin action in the second period. Terry Brands in the red with a 4-3 lead.
The referee called for a point on the edge, but the crowd didn't like it and it wasn't confirmed. Terry really is a proponent of conditioning and wearing out his opponent, so we'll see how Tony fares under that pressure late in the match.
I think what Tony's got to do is really try to get Terry on close to him, up close to him, stand him up, make it to where Terry can't take those shots, those direct, straight-on shots and run through him.
I think what you're seeing here, though, Terry is really shooting low, and he did get the confirmation on that point, so Tony will go down. New rule this year, you go down, point on the edge. But what he's attacking him is below the knee, and Tony cannot pull him up and counter. And if he gets him in the mid-level around the upper thigh, then he can counter.
So it's a 5-3 lead now for Terry Brands. And he and his twin brother Tom, people say, look so much alike. Sometimes the only way you can tell them apart, maybe that angered look in the eye of Terry, maybe the more nasty of the two, perhaps.
Well, Terry, definitely the hungrier of the two. You know, Tom has achieved his goal at this point, and Terry's after his now. So, you know, I can definitely see the fire in his eye, and it very well should be there.
Yeah, Tom has moved on to coaching, Olympic champion in 1996, and Terry's going to stay in the sport and try and get that Olympic gold medal in 2000. But standing in his way is Tony Purler at this time.
Absolutely. Not only here, but down the line. Terry Brands trying to set the stage, send a message to Tony Purler. They'll be meeting each other numerous times between now and Olympic year 2000.
Even though Terry's in a dominant position, this is where you need to watch Tony Purler.
That's exactly right. He is dangerous from just about anywhere. You know, Tony Purler can take you to his back while he's on his back.
Dan Gable in the corner of Terry Brands.
Been there a number of times.
Yeah, he has. And Terry and Tom are really two of the favorite athletes that Dan has produced over the years because they exemplify his style and his drive so much.
You know, I'm surprised not to see Gable moving much in the corner. I see him twisting and turning. Maybe he's got more confidence than Terry.
Well, I think Terry's handling the match at this point. You know, Tony's had one big move, which makes the match seem close, but really Terry's handled the match.
Yeah, there's some fire in the eyes of Tom right now. You see that?
They're a little bit concerned. 2 points is a little too close to be with Tony because one 3-point move would put him back ahead.
Exactly right.
We're going to hopefully have Tom Brands in our broadcast booth in just a little bit to share his thoughts on some of the action here at the U.S. Nationals. Right now, joining us is Kendall Cross.
Really, probably the best match that I have ever seen, or best series of matches that I've ever seen, were the 3 matches of Terry Brands and Kendall Cross in the 1996 Olympic trials. Just outstanding.
It was a little stressful for me.
A little bit.
I didn't enjoy it as much as everybody else did.
You're going to enjoy it now, though, when you open that drawer and see the gold medal.
Absolutely.
Really a credit to Terry Brands, though, to stay in the sport, come back, and go for his gold medal in 2000.
Sure, it would only be right. You know, I think that he definitely deserves it. And it was just unfortunate that only one of us could go. Because he definitely deserves a medal himself.
Do you root for this guy now, Kendall?
Yes, I do.
Can you afford to do that?
I did. I have a great respect for this man.
15 seconds left. I think he's just going to try and close it out here and take a 5-3 win.
Hey, well, you have to be impressed with his defense. He's certainly got an alarm clock going off in his head after that 3-point move by Purler. And that is the end of the action. And it is Terry Brands returning to the mat, getting a national champion into the family one more time. Tony Purler, none too happy. There's Tom Brands. Dan Gable celebrating the victory as well. Terry Brands with a 5-3 victory over Tony Purler. And maybe, no, I thought he was limping there for a second, Kendall, but he looks fine indeed. Quickly, what do you think about his performance?
Well, I thought he looks good. You know, one move really put Tony on the board. You know, like this, we talked about earlier, that's the type of wrestler Tony is. He's very dangerous. He can score a lot of points with one move.
And there you see Tony Purler a little bit unhappy with things that transpired. Terry Brands right now with Jim Shear.
I know the match went your way, but you weren't entirely happy with it. Tell me how you felt on that move. You got a little bit high, and he was able to whip you through for 3.
Exactly what happened. I got high. It was in on my shot. It's my shot. It's my damn shot. I got to finish it. I'm really upset with it. You don't get very many opportunities like that. And I go down 3-0 on my offense.
What I was impressed with was you were able to get your focus back, come back, really wrestle smart, stay below his knees the rest of the match, and come out with a win.
Yeah, one of the biggest things I've worked on the last couple of years is staying focused. You know me as well as anybody does. You know, that's been a lot of my downfall, is not staying focused when things don't go my way. You know, I had 3 or 4 calls from the referee that could have went my way, and neither one of the other judges confirmed it, so I didn't get it, and I felt I did a good job of just paying attention where I needed to be on the mat, and that's, I give myself credit for that, but there's no way I should be out of position in that double leg. No way.
Well, we talked about the fire in the eyes of Terry Brands. There you saw it right there. Unhappy even in victory. A point here in the second period sealed things against Tony Purler, and Terry Brands returns to the mat after a 2-year layoff to win the 1999 U.S. National Wrestling Championships at 128 pounds against Tony Purler. Back with more from Las Vegas in just a moment.